What's up, Sarasota? I'm Felipe Colon for Sarasota SpeaX, here with our guests, Bill Villafranco and Kevin Pease with the Virginia B. Toulmin Foundation. We're going to hear a lot more about what they're doing to honor this great woman from Sarasota. This is the pre-show, tailored by Tweeds. Welcome, Sarasota. This is the pre-show tailored by Tweeds. Remember, for all your custom suiting and accessory needs, you're going to want to check out tweedsuitshop.com. Too many locations in this part of Florida to mention right now, but Donald and his team at Tweeds will get you right. Today, we've got some great guests from the Virginia B. Toulmin Foundation with Bill Villafranco and Kevin Pease. Welcome, guys, to the pre-show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So we like to get right into it here and tease the episode out a little bit. First question, and this one's for William. As a trustee, give our viewers a quick overview of the Virginia B. Toulmin Foundation and its core mission.
Sure. The Virginia B. Toulmin Foundation was established once Virginia died in 2010, and our mission is to continue her legacy here in Sarasota as one of the foremost philanthropists in Sarasota history.
Very cool, very cool. Now, Kevin, this one's for you. You're in the process of writing an 8-book series based on the life of Virginia Toulmin. Can you give us a sneak peek at the first book and maybe what's to come in the future?
Sure, fantastic. The first book we're expecting to come out this May, and it is a historical fiction chapter book for second, third, fourth graders. And this first book is about an imagined trip, Virginia and her grandmother attending the symphony in St. Louis in 1936.
Well, that's great. We don't want to give too much of it away because we want everybody to tune into the full form episode. And you both will get into so much more on the podcast. I know there's a lot to tell of her story. But can you just touch on the impact that she's made on Sarasota and, in return, the impact Sarasota's made on her and her giving?
Virginia was, as I said, a foremost philanthropist here in Sarasota. She gave quite often and quite large amounts to the arts here in Sarasota. And when she got returned from her or for her were the opportunity to look at and hear some of the greatest arts in this country.
That's great. Thanks so much, guys. This is the pre-show tailored by Tweeds. We can't wait to get into all the details about the Virginia B. Toulmin Foundation and the upcoming book. So, gentlemen, we've met with many nonprofits here in Sarasota. Sarasota is a very giving community, as you know. But when we talk about private foundations, I think sometimes the actual impact of these foundations get lost. I'll give you one example. My good friend Eric Arroyo, who's a trust attorney and handles these kinds of foundations like your old partner, he told me that the 911 system in the United States is entirely funded by a private foundation from money that was left a very, very long time ago and has accumulated. And you know, the other names the household names are like the Fulbrights and the Rhodes. So can you talk about what it means to be a private foundation and what kinds of active roles you can take in the community and why people need to know the name of Virginia Toulmin?
So private foundations play a very important role. And why? Because they have a lot of latitude to be able to give to different causes. Many of the causes that we give to, primarily, in particular, the arts, are funded by the local government or the state government, and we know what's happening. The state government is cutting arts funding across the board, and they have been for years. So if private philanthropy does not come into the fold, we're going to be losing many, many amazing arts organizations here in Sarasota. And it's going to be harder and harder and harder to attract people to live in Sarasota because we're known as the arts capital of Florida.
Definitely.
Yes, everyone that comes on here talks about the arts and talks about Sarasota and the arts and then the beach. So I'd say it's second most attractive thing about Sarasota is
that's what attracts people from like places like New York.
Well, regardless, the point is we got to keep the arts. If it's top two, we got to keep the arts to keep people coming to Sarasota.
But you're right; these private foundations are filling in the gaps, and we know that also because some of our guests that we've had from these arts organizations, when we like to talk about the money here. We're all entrepreneurs, right? We want to know where the budget is coming from, and in many cases, a lot of that budget is from giving. Right, it's like when you watch PBS, they say viewers like you.
Right.
The foundations are the big viewers.
Yeah.
They're paying those bills.
We are. And we're an important segment as well to try to bridge the gap when that funding ceases. If you have the right relationship with the private foundation executives, you should have the courage to call them and ask them for more money. And that's what we do. we want people to call us, those in which we give money to tell us about either new programs they're launching, new ideas they have, or a funding shortage that they're having. And I don't say we fill it all the time, but we certainly look to try to help. After the last hurricane, we distributed a number of checks to local charities that got hit very hard by the hurricane. And it doesn't have to be a direct hit. It could be that some of the employees couldn't work because they lost their homes. And we felt the pain, and we didn't even hesitate. We wrote checks right away just to ease the organization's financial stress they were having.